May 2024, I left Nairobi and traveled to various parts of Kajiado County, south of the capital, Nairobi. I was on a trail of a story I had found intriguing of women who had embraced beekeeping as a major source of income after the long drought of between 2020 and 2024 decimated their livestock. For starters, Kajiado County is mainly occupied by the Maasai community, whose economic mainstay and show of wealth is in the large herds of livestock that one owns. In the community also, the livestock belongs to the man or the husband of the family. So when the livestock died, the women started practicing beekeeping, a venture that started slowly but has gained momentum and become a huge wave that is now roping in most women. My name is Steve Mokaya. I welcome you to this podcast. Lucy Lemashisha, 66, is the chairlady of 15 groups of women beekeepers in Ewaso Kedong, Kajiado West. The groups have a combined membership of 650 members. All of them do beekeeping, and they have already formed a cooperative society to advance their farming and give their venture some form of professionalism. Lemashisha says that most of the members are widows and HIV-positive women. They are slowly but certainly departing from the traditional practice of keeping large stocks of livestock, and they're now going for more beehives. When the women's husbands die, most of them suffer financially and their livestock is stolen.
Tuko na learning center yetu hapa, tunafanya kazi ya ufugaji wa nyuki. Inatupatia faida sisi wa mama kwa sababu wakati mwingi unakuta mzee akifa, mama hapati.
We have a beekeeping learning center where we learn to do professional bee farming. This venture is quite helpful, especially to women, because when the husband dies, the widow is left poor and struggles to fend for her family. So we decided to embrace beekeeping instead of large heads of livestock, which are often stolen once the husband dies. Sometimes wild animals also attack their livestock at night, and the women can't get out to defend the animals. Sometimes the late husband's associates come and claim he owed them money, and they take the livestock to redeem the debts even if the debts were not really there. So unlike livestock, beekeeping is a secure source of livelihood because you won't go to graze them or protect them from wild animals. Your work as a beekeeper is to put hives in place and wait for the bees to make honey, which you sell to get school fees for your children.
Chunga, utajiwekea tu mizinga zako ambayo utatoa hiyo asali. Ukiharvest hiyo asali unaweza kuuza, unapata school fees ya watoto.
Besides making money from selling the honey from the bees kept, the women also use the bees as protection against the elephants of the Mara and the Savo, which sometimes roam to their farms to look for food. They do this by strategically positioning the beehives in the pathways of elephants around their farms. The elephants smell the bees and steer away from the farms. This has increased their crop produce.
Ukiangalia kama hapa tuko na mashamba, ndovu zinakuja, tunazielekeza mapito ambayo yale ndovu zinapita.
We have farms, as you can see, and when the elephants come, they smell the bees and stay clear of the farms. So we have positioned our beehives strategically to keep the elephants away. There is a time the elephants used to come and destroy our crops and trees, but since we installed beehives around our farms, elephants have never come back to destroy our crops.
Inakuta pamewekwa hiyo security ya bee. Unaona sasa kama hizi miti tumepanda. Kuna wakati zilikuwa zimevamia zikakuja zikavunja. Lakini tangia wakati tuliweka hizi mizinga hatuja tena kupata ndovu tena.
Despite the women in the area having started beekeeping more than a decade ago, the chairperson says that it is recently they embraced some form of commercial beekeeping. This is after a local non-governmental organization called the Rural Women Network gave them education and training on how to best do apiculture. Currently, they are planning to upscale their production and even package their honey to attract more buyers.
Mambo ya ufugaji wa nyuki ni kama tulianza 2010.
We started beekeeping in 2010, though back then we knew little about this type of farming. However, through the Women Rural Network, we have learned more about how to best do bee farming. In fact, we are now focusing on how we can package our honey and label it for the market. We harvest 3 times a year.
Tuna harvest almost 3 times kwa mwaka.
However, despite the strides they have made thus far, they have also faced challenges on their path. The leader says they have no ready market for their honey, and so they sell it in the local market centers and to the Maasai men who use it to make traditional medicine. These buyers exploit them by buying at very low prices compared to the average market price. They now want the county government of Kajiado to look for them a ready market.
Inaendanga kama market kwa sababu bado hatujapata market. Kwa hivyo wakati tunavuna sisi tunaiuza tu hapa kwa soko yetu ama kuna wazee wanasungukanga.
We don't really have a market, and so we sell our honey locally and also to the herbalists who use it to make traditional medicine. So you find that sometimes we sell 4 kg of honey at 1,800 shillings, which is exploitation. So we are requesting our county government to look for a ready market for us so that we are not taken advantage of. Sometimes you go to the supermarket and find the 500 grams packet of honey retailing at 600 shillings. So when you think that you are selling a whole 4 kg for 1,800 shillings, you really feel exploited. That is why we want a ready market so we don't sell through middlemen.
Unaona umepoteza pesa mingi sana. So tukipata market nao hao middlemen waondoshwe, tunaweza kufaidika.
Despite the challenges, the leader says there are tangible benefits for the women doing this type of farming. For example, she has used her honey business to build a house and buy a tent which she rents out to the community.
Nimeuza, nimepata pesa, ninajenga.
I've sold honey and built a house for myself and also bought a tent which I rent out to the community members at a fee. So I've really experienced the benefits of beekeeping.
Ufugaji wa nyuki una faida.
Lemashisha also tells me that she is a member of the Anti-Female Genital Mutilation Board of Kenya, and she uses the meeting and training sessions on beekeeping to preach the message to fellow women to protect the girl child from their practice and also that of early marriage, practices that have for many years been engraved in the Maasai community.
Mimi niko katika FGM board.
I am in the FGM board of Kenya, by the way. And so, when we attend beekeeping meetings as women, I also educate our women to stop marrying off their girls at a young age because it is illegal and inhumane to the children. So we want to stop retrogressive practices such as early marriages and female genital mutilation and embrace formal education because that is what will help our children in the future.
Sababu hiyo ndio itapeleka watoto wetu mbele.
Down south in the county in Rombo, at the border of Kenya and Tanzania, I met Roy Sangaine. Sangaine, the leader of another women beekeeper, says they make money every 3 months from the sale of honey. The group has stipulated tasks and duties for every group member for dedicated care of the bee farms.
Ni mradi mzuri sana. Baada ya miezi 3 tunapata pesa. Baada ya miezi 3 tunapata pesa. So ni mradi mzuri sana ambao haihitaji nguvu mingi. Tunaiwekea tu once in a week tunakutana.
This is an excellent project. We get money after every 3 months. It requires minimal labor and attention. We just meet once a week to clean the area where the hives are located, sweep any dirt, and slash any overgrown vegetation around the hives. We were taught by the WWF Kenya to harvest and process the honey too, and so we do it all by ourselves as women. And bees are friendly, except if you visit them when the weather is too hot. We have a timetable of who does what at what day and time to avoid unnecessary crowds around the hives.
Alafu tumejifunza sisi wote, tumewekeana pia zamu, wakati wengine wataweka maji, wengine watafanya usafi. Hatuwezi kuenda kuwasumbua ile nyuki wakati wowote, tunapokezana.
She says that the last drought that lasted from 2020 to early 2024 killed many of their livestock, and most people in the area lost their livelihood. The women thus shifted focus to beekeeping, which she says is not as badly affected by drought.
Wakati wa kiangazi ng'ombe zinakufa, inatupatia challenges nyingi. Pia tunasomesha watoto. Unapata wale ng'ombe ambao tumewategemea wameisha. So tukafikiria
during drought, we lose so many cattle and are left poor. We can't even take our children to school at such times. We dived into bee farming because beekeeping does not need a lot of attention and energy, and neither do they die. We dived into beekeeping because our cows died. We lost all of them. Someone had 200 cows before the drought, but now they have none. So beekeeping came in handy because when we sell the honey after single harvest, we get up to 60,000 Kenyan shillings.
Kama kiasi kama lita 30 hivi. So tukipima na kilo tunauza 1,000. Tukiwa na kilo kama 60, hapo tumeandika tuko na pesa maana tuko na 60,000.
To mitigate the effects of drought on the bees' honey-making process, they fetch water and mix it with sugar and place it around the hives to prevent the bees from migrating or going far to look for water.
Tunawatunza kwa kuwapatia maji, hiyo ni number 1. Wakati wa kiangazi
we take care of these bees by giving them water and sugar solution during drought so that they do not fly away to look for water and flowers. They just stay around.
Unajua naye mawe inabeba sukari. Hiyo maji inasababisha kutoenda mbali. So wanabaki pale pale.
She advises more Maasai women to embrace beekeeping to get financial freedom since the livestock in the community traditionally belongs to the man.
Ng'ombe ni ya wazee.
Cattle belong to the husband, so when they sell the cattle, we women don't get a good share from the money fetched. But with the bees, all the proceeds are ours.
Ni yetu.
From Rombo, I moved further to Purko Ward in Kajiado Central, where I met Judith Ntangenoi, a solo beekeeper whose beekeeping has supplemented her income that she gets from livestock. Nonetheless, she has also tasted the bitter side of bee farming. The bees have killed a few of her cows and disturbed her neighbors. This almost created animosity with her neighbors who had issues with the bees as they were afraid of getting attacked by the insects.
Wakati sikuwa najua kuna ng'ombe nyingi ambazo zimepigwa na nyuki hapa na zikakufa.
When I didn't know this, several of my cows were stung by the bees to death. Also, when the sun is out and very hot, sometimes bees get out and attack livestock and people. So the neighbors felt bad and were concerned for their safety and that of their livestock. That is why I moved the hives closer to my house where I can be the only victim should they decide to attack.
Kwa hivyo ndio unaona tuliweka hapa karibu mahali ambayo ninaweza toka ninakuja kuangalia.
In Kajiado Central, I also met Miriam Kisemei, a group leader of the Nasaru women group from Purko, who says that they have started doing table banking from the proceeds of the honey business. In addition, they have bought land where they plant crops and sell the harvest. The income accrued has boosted their family's livelihood, especially with the losses in their livestock.
Hiyo kiangazi imesumbua sisi sana, hata imehamia ng'ombe yote.
The drought dealt us a fatal blow. All our cows died, so we started beekeeping, and that is where we get money from to educate our children. Our women group has in fact purchased a parcel of land from the proceeds of the honey business. We have currently planted beans and other vegetables such as kales, which we will sell in Kajiado market to earn more money. Likewise, beekeeping has made life easier because I can now contribute to my husband's income to meet the daily expense. Our beekeeping women group also offers cheap loans to the members.
Asali iko na pesa mingi, alafu sisi haendi mahali ingine kuchukua loan, nachukua tu kwa kikundi.
WWF Kenya has been a major partner with the county residents in the beekeeping venture as a way of promoting an alternative form of livelihood and recovering lost forest land. Dr. John Kioko, the program coordinator for the organization in the Amboseli Chulu sublandscape where Kajiado County lies, said the goal of promoting beekeeping is to restore forests and mitigate the effects of climate change.
WWF kupitia mradi wa forest landscape restoration ambao tulianzisha mwaka wa 2021 tumekuwa
WWF, through the Forest Landscape Restoration Program that we launched in 2021, has been working closely with the Kajiado County residents. We as WWF are convinced that beekeeping can effectively mitigate the effects of climate change, because once you have beehives on trees, the trees won't be cut down. Beekeeping also diversifies the means of livelihood for the people. It is also a fact that bees play a key role in forestation through pollination.
Ile miti na tunajua kwamba pia nyuki ndio wanachangia uwepo wa misitu. Kuna ile tunaita pollination.
Dr. Kioko said that the organization is determined to make this project a success now and for the future. To achieve this, he said, WWF Kenya is currently drilling solar energy-powered boreholes to provide water for the beekeepers and forest restoration in the sub-landscape.
We are currently working on making sure that there is reliable water supply, and we are doing this by drilling boreholes across the county, which use solar energy.
Eric Ahenda, the director of the livestock department in the Kajiado County government, says the county has produced a 5-year beekeeping strategic plan to guide bee farmers on how to do the farming.
The department is also considering legislative measures to regulate the beekeeping industry. And we have started by drafting a strategic plan for beekeeping within the county. It is a 5-year strategic plan focusing on how production is supposed to be done.
Ahenda, however, says that the association of beekeeping with the poor people has hampered the farming practice being taken up by more people.
The greatest barrier that this industry has been facing in Kajiado County is that cultural barrier, where beekeeping is associated with the poor within the society, and therefore not many people want to get involved in the beekeeping. It made us to try to shift our focus, and as we talk right now, I can say that the uptake is not so high, but it's a bit commendable. A few youths here and there, women groups are embracing beekeeping. We have made them to understand that it is one kind of an enterprise that has a ripple effect even to the society and to the environment per se, because as a beekeeper, you will not want to see someone come to interfere with the environment that you are living in.
Meanwhile, Dr. Jackton Achola, the county's Minister for Agriculture, says the county government is encouraging more people to take up beekeeping, especially with the climate change that resulted in the massive deaths of livestock in the county when the drought struck between 2020 and early 2024.
In 2022, people lost livelihood because of the climate change. Based on that, we have seen that livestock keeping is no longer attainable. So we have actually encouraged the community to ensure that they can also diversify livelihood. Beekeeping is one of the livelihood diversification, which we are trying to encourage the people, the farmers of Kajiado.
The minister says the county government is currently implementing the National Agricultural Value Chain Development Project, in which they will fund circles of bee farmers through grants and county budgetary allocation.
Currently, we are actually implementing a project called NABCDP, National Agricultural Value Chain Development Project. That program, actually, one of the value chain is beekeeping. And through this project, we are going to fund several circles. Most of them actually we are identifying the beekeepers, and we are going to fund that. There's already money allocated. Currently, we are doing sensitization so that the farmers actually come in and they will be granted an investment through this program. As a county government also, in our budget during this financial year, we have put money as one of the value chains, the beekeeping, and we are going to provide the farmers with the incentives which can make them adopt the issue of the beekeeping.
The minister says the county is building processing plants for honey across the county for processing and value addition. This is meant to make the honey from the county competitive and attract a huge market.
Once we have produced the honey and we have processed it here, we'll actually brand our products. And once we have branded our product, we'll actually look for the market. Counties like Kitui, they have their branded honey. Kajiado also, we want to go to that level, brand it and look for market. We're in the process. Even right now, Kajiado Central, we have a honey processing plant, which is about to be completed.
Many thanks for your company. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. My name is Steve Mokaya. Stay safe and healthy. Until next time, goodbye.